Alright, so in this video, I actually just did a podcast episode on a subject that I thought was very interesting, based on a conversation that I had with my partner recently. And I just thought it'd be interesting to kind of like further understand it. But again, it's this idea. I believe that I've talked about this idea. I'll bring the mic closer. I believe that I've talked about this idea in a previous YouTube video, and this is the idea of the handing off, or the passing off of the baton, in regards to how like trauma works from you know grandparents to parents to children and everything. And it's very interesting to kind of like explore the potential that the pain and the shit that a lot of people carry around is actually not theirs. And if you were to understand that it's actually like that way, it changes the dynamics. There ends up being a massive shift in terms of how you approach everything, right? So consider this. Say, for instance, somebody considers themselves to be might be extreme, but a worthless piece of shit who is not deserving of anything good. Um, there's probably a lot of people out there that feel that way, but that idea in and of itself is a learned belief that actually came from an authority figure, a parent, right? And if you realize that that's actually what it is, then you don't have to. I mean, this is why things like meditation, introspection are so important, because the more you become familiar of thought processes and belief systems, and like you actually sit with that stuff, and you go as far in terms of exploring all the contents and everything, you really start to see things for what they are and not what you think they are. What a person thinks something is and what it actually is are more often than not two different things, because we often live with an idea of what something is rather than what it actually is, right? Until we know the truth of something, we don't actually know what it is. So when you are brought up with belief systems that um you don't deserve anything good because of this, that, and the other. Okay, that's that's definitely something that was learned from a parent or an authority figure, and it's just not necessary to carry around because it doesn't have anything to do with you. Um, Essentially, this is how it works. The very beliefs that people carry around are basically parroted, right? Like the bird. They copy everything that they hear. Okay, so what you copy and then repeat consistently sets the foundation for how you see yourself and even the world. So it's very important to kind of like you know what's I'm trying to figure out the right word for this. It's important to see things from a just like what they are and where they came from standpoint. Because like say for instance, like if you genuinely feel like shit and you don't understand it, it's like, okay, well, what is this shit that I feel? Okay, I feel I lack something. Why do I feel I lack something? Okay, well, this person told me this. Oh, okay, now we know where it came from. Um, how likely is it that that actually has anything to do with the person who it was told to? Very little. And here's the thing too, like these belief systems are formed in childhood, right? Because this is when somebody is most vulnerable. This is when they're like a sponge. You know how they talk about this idea that um if you want to learn a language, do it while you're young, cuz children, and this might also be a belief system. I don't know. I don't know how true this is. Um but yeah, it's very interesting too, because here's a contrast, right? Um Children are sponges, right? They soak everything up. But then there's the contrast of like decades down the line of you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Okay, Maybe these are both potentially belief systems, and the way that these belief systems kind of like work is that they create a foundation for, I don't know, how you go about life, right? Um, but yeah, like I do believe that there is that state of vulnerability at a very early age, and what you are taught to be true about something or someone is what you tend to go with for a long time until that is challenged and potentially changed. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Um, but yeah, so there's a very good probability that the shit that a lot of people carry around actually has nothing to do with them. And when you can actually approach it from that standpoint and like look at it and be like, "Oh wow, okay. Oh yeah, actually I remember now. Um my father, he he told me this, that, and the other about myself, or about life, or about this person, or about that person, or about these people. And because of that, I've just always approached all these different things from that standpoint of lack, of lack, of scarcity, of indecency, right? Because I was told that these people are not good. I was told that I am not enough. I was told that the world is not a friendly place. Like, oh, okay. Well, now we know where it came from. So let's go about, uh, you know, you don't have to deconstruct it because you already know where it came from. So now let's go about, you know, taking that off. that's a it's a virus. Let's disinfect it, right? So you take the time to work through that process, and it changes things because that's just the way that it works. That's all. Um, but what's most important is that you know where it came from, because there's a good chance that it has nothing to do. A very high probability, a very high probability that it has nothing to do with you. That's it. That's all you have to do. I mean, I don't want to say that's all you have to do, because there's a lot to the process. It takes time, you know. Oh, there we go. There's another belief system. It takes time. It's very interesting how many belief systems surface, but how often belief systems are just kind of like missed, right? When I say missed, though, I mean like they pass by awareness, right? Like say for instance, okay, like regarding anything, it takes time. Belief system right there. I believe that it takes time. Okay, that's a belief system. Um, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't at all. Maybe it doesn't take time. Maybe it requires consistency in a shift in feeling state over the course of 7 days, and then it changes. But you have to be consistent with that. You have to show up for this amount of time every single day, right? Like, yeah. By the way, here's if you are someone who finds yourself just like, I don't know, on a consistent daily basis feeling low energy, right? If you approach your day from a meditative standpoint of every day instilling your body with a feeling state of an elevated emotion, your energy is going to change. That's just the way that it is. Um, so yeah, again, belief systems. They're interesting. They really mold us. Um, and again, becoming aware of them, what they are, for what they are, where they came from, and then just like, oh yeah, never mind, and then let it go. Interesting things happen.